Sure enough, human brains and desires are never ending. They actually intended to forcibly control the ferocious and rampaging Titan behemoth. It's just that no one can predict the final result. Therefore, the disasters brought by it are even more unbearable. Two guys are on the coast of Hawaii. Enjoy the thrill of surfing. However, I received very quickly Coast Guard warning. 2. Get ashore now. This is a high-risk area for behemoths. These two are also considered to be good. Hurriedly pick up the surfboard and go ashore. Who knows the next moment? A large number of giant beetles rushed over the beach. The police officer who witnessed everything was astonished when entire Coast Guard ship was dragged into the sea. The entire Coast Guard ship was dragged into the sea. The entire Coast Guard ship was dragged into the sea. The entire Coast Guard ship was dragged into the sea. The alert signal quickly reached outpost of the Imperial Organization. The 14 police officers on the Coast Guard ship had no news. But the temporary commander Jason didn't want to save people. Instead, let the technical team lock the whereabouts of the behemoth. Extrapolation from the data model. It will be available in 23 hours. Landing in densely populated San Francisco. Tim of the Imperial Organization is full of worry. But Jason's eyes flashed with excitement. He can't wait to introduce our newly developed tracking system. It has just been put into use and has made a great contribution. And on the other side of the world, the male protagonist Shore and others dodged the pursuit of the Imperial Organization while trying to find a way to find signal simulator stolen by Vertex Corporation. They just found a hotel to settle in. I received it on my phone at the same time. Monster invasion alert from the Imperial Organization. Dazzy thought of his daughter Kate in the old gold. Immediately took out his mobile phone and dialed. Unfortunately, no one answered the phone on the other end. The scientist is never seen again. The calm of the past. Insist on abandoning the plan. Fly to San Francisco to find your daughter. But others have expressed their opposition to. The shore people are mature and spirited. Means that as long as it is within 23 hours, locate the analog signaler. Can forcibly change the direction of the behemoth. It can be regarded as saving Kate in disguise. After hearing this, Dazzy nodded in agreement. Admit that I was indeed a little impulsive just now. It's just that he couldn't think of. The main owner, Kate, happened to be on the coast at this time. She has been blaming herself these days. Thinking that he had recruited a giant beast from another world. It led to the immediate apocalyptic crisis. A strong sense of guilt drowned her like a tide. Can be used in chaotic and crowded evacuation crowds. An unexpected reunion changes her mind. Kate met in the Golden Gate Bridge disaster that year. Light. It instantly pierced the haze in Kate's heart. Bluntly said that her behavior has surpassed most of the people. This approval is like a light. It instantly pierced the haze in Kate's heart. She finally realized. Escaping never solves the problem. And at this time, Shore at all. An infiltration operation is being carefully planned. Xiaomei speculation signal simulator. There is a high probability that it will be hidden in the underground warehouse of Vertex Company. Of the Vertex technician. Want to sneak in quietly? You must get the corresponding employee permissions. Several people staged a porcelain-touching drama in the bar. Successfully copied to the access card of the Vertex technician. Next, it's time for Xiaomei, an insider, to play. While no one is paying attention, she quietly cracked the permission password of the company's intranet. After Xiaomei quietly pressed the start button, the piercing siren sounded throughout the building. The safety officer recognizes. This is the highest level of nuclear leak alert. All people, regardless of position, were forced to evacuate, Dazzy and the others. Waiting for a long time, Dazzy and the others, disguised as epidemic prevention personnel, successfully blended into the office building. Wait until they walk into the security control room. Suddenly stunned by a scene in the surveillance. Countless creatures are imprisoned in a small glass container. Dazzy recognizes that these are all species from Skull Island. Among them is the famous Needle Beast, Shore reminded aloud. Shore reminded aloud. This is not the time for compassion to flood. Xiaomei sits in the office and commands. Guide the crowd towards the underground warehouse. The access card copied from the bar made a big difference. They went all the way to the bottom. Just as Taishi and Keiko are about to arrive at their destination. But I don't want to accidentally follow Vertex security system, judging that the radiation alarm is a false signal. The evacuation order was immediately lifted. Employees began to return to the building one after another. Worse is Xiaomei's immediate boss Landa. Actually rode a bicycle to work. There is not much time left for everyone. Xiaomei hurriedly ran out to stop the other party. She used the false alarm just now as a topic. Delay time as much as possible. Landa seems to see something. Secret laboratory. Take them to a secret laboratory. Take them to a secret laboratory. Her face is full of sincerity. In fact, Vertex has been utilizing the code left by Xiaomei before, trying to suppress the monster's attack instinct. Phased progress has been made. The Imperial Organization will only study and control the behemoth, and the direction of their efforts. It is to live peacefully with the monster. Landa really wanted Mei to help herself. And this great idea, it did move Xiaomei. If you want to save the world, Vertex companies will make you successful. And in the outpost of the Imperial Organization, Tim suddenly received a message. Due to the rush of time, residents along the San Francisco coast simply did not have time to evacuate. Find out about this. Get ready to take on the underwater behemoth head-on. But I don't want Jason to find out about this. He actually led the team to prepare to evacuate. And the reasons given are also laughable. Jason felt that the behemoth under the sea, in the face of a powerful navy, it will surely die. He intends to collect the corpse of the behemoth as soon as possible. For more data. Tim asked sharply, what if the navy can't blow up this monster? After all, high risk means high reward. After all, high risk means high reward. Shore here saw that the plan was about to be revealed. He decided to use the backup plan on the spot. That is the violent smashing of the beast's cage. Put these guys out. With the urgent sound of the alarm, the staff who had just returned were once again in chaos. While Landa was leaving. Simulator with high hopes. When Dazi walks into the underground warehouse. But I saw the ray simulator with high hopes. It was actually disassembled into a pile of parts. And this also means their plan to recall the behemoth has completely failed. Fortunately, the military's maritime forces have been dispatched. But after searching around the sea, I found there are no ocean behemoths nearby at all. Only one whale with a huge body. No one expected Vertex companies. There was a big oolong. But Tim quickly realized something was wrong. Because of the whales they track. It's just a digital phantom. This is clearly an illusion that Vertex intentionally created. What conspiracy are they plotting? And at this time, Dazi is furious. He felt that he was. You should be desperate to save your daughter. Suddenly, Shore's cell phone rang. It turned out that the Imperial Organization lifted the behemoth alert. Realizing that Kate is safe for the time being. Everyone breathed a long sigh of relief. 047 that's when they noticed. Posted on the wall. Unexpectedly, Vertex Company secretly collected many of the studies that Billy failed to complete. You must know that the other party is one of the legendary founders of the Imperial Organization. Once drew a roadmap for the migration of giant beasts. Inferring from the trajectory on the map where the undersea behemoth will appear next. It is the magical Norwegian island. And this is also the real attempt of Vertex. The reason why they directed the San Francisco crisis. It is to cover up the next action. The crowd immediately decided to rush over to stop. But I received a farewell message from Xiaomei. Was lost. Decided to create a world where coexistence with giant beasts. Unfortunately, the expedition team lost an important member. Just when everyone was lost, a familiar figure appeared in front of me. It was Kate who regained her confidence. Her eyes are extremely determined. Get ready to face this with your companions, a crisis full of lies. The group quickly returned to Taishi's secret studio. The attentive Keiko senses. Dazi has been sullen since he came back. I only learned after asking. He was just in Vertex's warehouse. I found Keiko's letter to Shore. The historical truth that has been dusty for many years has finally been revealed. The reason why Billy left his young ambition. It is because of the discovery of Keiko actually quietly fell in love with Shore. Dazi felt that this was what led to the root cause of my childhood loneliness. But play back and play. Fortunately, everyone did not have personal relationship problems. And delay saving the world. The next day they flew on a private jet. Head to the island of Santa Soleda, where the underwater behemoth is about to appear. Taro is still a little unsure. Let's not talk about whether Billy's monster migration map is accurate. And the current time point is also 6 years earlier. Keiko felt that the monster was bound to appear. Because the geocentric passage was forcibly opened on Skull Island. So the monster's activity path is also advanced. Just ensure the order of its migration sites. And the time interval remains the same. After listening to Kate on the side, again lowered his head in shame. The attentive Shore immediately changed the topic. He reminded not to underestimate Vertex Company. Analyze the data collected everyone during the previous infiltration. They are working on a behemoth. In case of 10,000, Shore will be the news of the appearance of the behemoth. Shared with Tim of the Imperial Organization. Can be used as he controls the outpost. When you're ready to head to Santa Soleda Island. However, it was strongly opposed by the director. Because Vertex has just received news. They are in the Bering Strait. Found traces of the mysterious behemoth. Tim realizes that this is Vertex again. Smoke bombs released. Compared to those greedy guys. He would rather trust the intelligence provided by Shore. The director was silent for a moment and decided to let Tim judge for himself. But what kind of behavior do you do? You have to come up with enough evidence. However, the call between the two is not over. The probe found that a giant object passed 300 meters underwater. The next moment the entire hull began to shake violently. They actually passed by the behemoth. Santa Soleda. And the direction it is heading. It is the island of Santa Soleda. It is the island of Santa Soleda. It seems that Shore's intelligence is correct. And the Apex Company at this time already arrived at this place. The person in charge, Landa, is full of spring breeze. The undersea behemoth will arrive in 13 hours. And the coding technology provided by Xiaomei. It is the strongest weapon to control the opponent. Two people walk into the once bustling village. The inhabitants of the island many years ago. It was moved away by the Emperor's organization. Today only the remains of dilapidated houses. Xiaomei is very curious. Why is that behemoth here? Landa had previously consulted Billy's information. Guess that the other party is likely to come here to forage. Now they are going to do. It is to put the warhead containing the implant, shoot into the monster's body. However, Xiaomei was a little uneasy. The code she edited to control the palm-sized birds was okay. But in the face of the existence of the level of the undersea beast, Xiaomei was not sure at all. However, at this time, the arrow had to fire. Landa has already boasted about Heiko in front of the top management. Everything is under control. She edited Xiaomei's neural chain, proportionally enlarged by hundreds of times, enough to control that massive behemoth. At this time, the technical supervisor Jason ran over to report. He also passed fake news to the Imperial organization. The other party will most likely not come to make trouble. However, there are guards on the edge of the island. An assault boat was found. Landa's face changed. Guessed that it might be that Shore's gang landed on the island. The facts are as she expected. These guys are at Vertex, the hill behind the garrison. But they don't dare to act rashly. Instead, he quietly walked into a dilapidated cabin. Kiko's face was a little hot. She recognized that this was where I used to have a relationship with Shore. Dazi accidentally discovered his childhood paintings. Presumably, his father Billy brought it here with him. At that moment, all resentment seemed to melt. He finally understood. The father didn't love him. Just in a clumsy and deep way. Hide this love in the corners of the world. And Keiko also shed tears of repentance. Admit that you were too reckless and impulsive back then. This misses the decades of growth of Dazi. The mother and son finally managed to get before the apocalyptic crisis came. Choose to let go of the past and reconcile with each other. Unfortunately, there is not much time left for them. As night falls, Titan Behemoth is getting closer and closer to the island. Everyone hides in an abandoned bar, silently watching every move of Vertex Company. Xiaomei was always a little uneasy in her heart. Race against time for final commissioning. Jason hurriedly ran over and prompted. The behemoth is still 16 minutes away from. Now the clearance must begin. Xiaomei rolled her eyes everyone and put away the handheld computer. I turned around and happened to see Shore in the bar. Hurriedly persuaded everyone to leave as soon as possible, knowing that everyone is coming. So he hurriedly persuaded everyone to leave as soon as possible. She firmly believes that she is helping the Vertex Company save the world. She also hopes that her companions will not interfere with her actions. Watching Xiaomei leave, everyone feels that Xiaomei has been deceived. Vertex Company is deceived. If their goal is to save the world, then why deceive the Imperial organization, even hiding it from the world? Shore immediately speculated on the key to the problem. It is true that the Vertex Company wants to use Xiaomei to control the behemoth. But they are not here to save the world, but to treat the behemoth as a weapon that can be controlled. As soon as his words fell, the ground suddenly began to shake. It was as if the encounter from many years ago was repeating itself. Countless beetles emerged from the underground cave. Shore was waiting for this great opportunity. Taking advantage of the chaos of the Vertex Company, he decided to violently destroy the projectile. Unfortunately, everyone's movements were still half a beat slower. Landa started the drone first, directly carried the warhead into the sky. Shore was about to escape back to the tavern, but he didn't want the huge beetle swarm to rush over. In desperation, he could only hide behind the huge disc. This is better than being directly hit by the bug. Keiko and the others hurriedly ran to check on Shore's injuries. Suddenly, a low roar came from not far away. Kate instinctively stopped. She finally saw her again. The monster released by her own hands. At this time, Kate was not afraid. Even put life and death behind her. She slowly walked up to the giant beast. Dazi suddenly noticed that her daughter was missing. When he ran out, he almost peed on the spot. At this time, the drone operated by Vertex Company had already flown above the giant beast. After seeing the timing, they pressed the fire button without hesitation. Unfortunately, the warhead did not hit the head. Instead, it plunged into one of the monster's tentacles. The moment the neural link program was activated, the ocean behemoth let out a shrill roar. And Xiaomei in the control room found. The data flow was skyrocketing at an astonishing speed. Unexpectedly, the number of neurons in the giant beast was far greater than imagined. Such a huge amount of data feedback. At this time, Dazi had already come to Kate's side. Was about to take the other party away, but saw the giant beast raise its huge tentacles. Those beetles crawled to the wound one after another. Even bit off the controlled tentacles. Dazi saw that the situation was not good. Pushed Kate away with force. But he himself was hit by a giant. And in the control room Lalanda and others also realized that his control plan had failed. So he immediately signaled everyone to evacuate. I saw the giant beast under the sea roar in anger. After throwing out its tentacles and sweeping all the houses on the island, it reluctantly dived to the bottom of the sea. Kate stood up in the ruins. Just saw her father lying motionless on the ground. His chest was pierced by a sharp object. At this time, a lot of blood was flowing. Dazi looked at the two children beside him. His eyes were full of remorse and reluctance. Isn't he the same as Keiko? Missed too much growth of two children. Wait until the rescue team of the Emperor's organization arrives. Dazi lying in Keiko's arms. Long stopped breathing. There are always too many regrets in this world. Those apologies that have not yet been said. Those companionships that are too late to make up for. Maybe we can only make up for it when we come to the next life. The above is the content of episodes 4 and 5 of Monster Legacy. Season 2. If you like it, please continue to pay attention. See you next time.